Okay, what's going on, y'all? So, it's been about almost a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now since I've worked out. So, the last couple of videos that you guys have seen me posted as pre-recorded videos from previous weeks. But the last week, for example, I didn't work out at all last week. That's the first time I haven't worked out for an entire week straight in like a long time. But it was good for my body. It was good for my body to rejuvenate and heal itself, and also because I've been fasting a lot as well too. So I've been doing like I've been right now. I've been eating one meal a day. So I wake up and I don't eat I have my first meal until around 7 or 8 p.m. in the night. And I've started since the beginning of March. That's what I've been doing. And in doing that, majority of it's water weight, but I went from 250 to like 241, right? Anyways, but that's what I've been doing right now. So I'm really severe fasting. I'm talking about no water and stuff like that as well too. Just wake up, go the entire day. My first meal is not till like 7, 8 p.m. and that it's just one meal. So that's what I've been doing. And the first couple of days were tough, but then my body got adjusted to it because when it comes to like one meal a day, I've done that before. Back in like 2016, when I went from like 265 to like 220 pounds, it was because I was doing a lot of cardio and I dropped down to one meal a day. And I was able to still do it and still put on muscle mass because I was still getting my adequate protein intake in, which is the main thing. Whenever you're on a low carb diet, the main thing is to make sure that you wanna increase your protein. Just random advice if you're trying to go low carb to lose weight, right? If you drop your carbs, you want to make sure that in order for you to not lose the lean muscle mass that you have and also put on lean muscle mass while you're on a low carb diet, you want to try to have about 2.4 grams per kilogram of body weight to kind of offset that to make sure that you don't actually lose muscle mass. Because I know a lot of you guys think that, oh, when I'm cutting or when I'm losing weight, it's natural for me to lose strength or I can't put on muscle while I'm doing that. But so that's the threshold in terms of protein that you need to be having to make sure that you don't lose and make sure you continue to put on. Anyways, so rambling there a lot, but yeah, so that's pretty much the last week I've been off. So today's my first workout back. Today, Monday, my first workout back. I'm gonna try and hit a leg day. So we're just gonna be starting off with a lot of movements to kind of help wake the body up again, challenge your stability, coordination to get those small stabilizer muscles warmed up and things like that. So the body's been out of commission for a while. So the goal here, we wanna almost do like a system reboot step by step. So the joints, the tendons, the ligaments, all those things, just the entire nervous system, just those smaller muscles. We're trying to wake those smaller muscles up before we get back into our big movements, right? So that's how I'm going to be starting off this workout here. It's just a lot of stability work, kind of isolating the hips, trying to work on movements that for joint stability and stuff like that, right? So you guys will see as I go along, but today again is just like a reboot. So when I start, a lot of movements that I'm going to be doing is going to be like a reboot, right? So first one that we're going to be doing is this right here. It's just great for like ankle stability, joint stability, things like that. And you're really gonna feel this in your ankle, your knees, your hips, and all those small stabilizer muscles, right? So we're just gonna do this right here. So this is very tough, so I might fall. So I'm gonna be right here, trying to bounce on this one leg. We're trying to lower that one leg and pinch into the ball, right? And all we're doing here is just doing little small circles with this, right? This is really just challenging and waking up all those muscles, right? Small stabilizer muscles are being worked, warmed up, just like this right here. Just like that. I can already feel it in my glutes and my hip flexors already. All right. We're gonna do some plyo work today as well too, but nothing too crazy because again, I've been off for a week, so we're just gonna focus on just more so, just some extensive plyo work, no intensive work. Yeah. Whew. That burns. Whew. All right, let's go. Start in the front. This is my weaker side with these. I should have done this first, but a lot of cracking going on right now. That's why I said this is a reboot. Because as I'm doing this, a lot of cracking in my knees ankles, hips. Oh, stay with it. Ooh. Whew. We'll do one more set. So, like I said, guys, today's a reboot. Try to get the system operational again. So, and that includes, right, hitting all those smaller intrinsic stabilizing muscles or tendons, getting that blood flow again in the tendons, right? Because if you don't already know, tendons don't get blood flow as easily as muscles. So certain movements that you do kind of can help increase the rate in which your tendons get blood flow. And obviously, the more effective your tendons can get blood flow, it's gonna help you recover and also help you to when you go into your bigger lifts as well too, right? So, yeah. So what we're about to do here, we're gonna be doing this glute bridge, hip flexion knee drive right here, all right? And obviously, this is gonna be hitting the hip flexor, the lower abs. It's gonna be hitting the anterior and posterior chain all at once, right? So all those small areas, once again, I'm being very repetitive. This is gonna help to hit all those things, but it's also very intense as well too. So this is why. So even though it's not crazy in terms of what the movement is, it hits everything intensely. Lower abs, hip flexor, groin. If you think about the front of your shin, because I'm in a dorsiflex position, it hits the ankle tibialis anterior and posterior muscles in the front of the shin as well too. You know what I'm saying? So hamstring hits the hamstring really well in an isometric position, right? So the lower back. So anyways, that's what we're doing here. We're starting off here with 20, and after 20, we're gonna follow up with 2 sets of 12. So let's go. Start with this on your weaker hip first. So that's what we're doing. Yo, this is no joke. Oh my God. Ah, especially the isometric work on the hamstring. Yeah, holy. Whew. And also how well they hit the hip flexors as well too. So if you're someone that has weak hips, you know, or someone that has tight hips, you know, a lot of people, if you have tight hips right now, and you're stretching them, and you find out you're not getting any kind of relief, it's more than likely not because they're tight, but more so because those hips are weak. So strengthening is gonna be your best friend. And so doing a movement like this, if you do this 3 times a week for 3 sets, 15 to 20 reps, I promise you, everything in and around your posterior and anterior chain, in and around your pelvic, lower back region, a lot of pain or discomfort you feel will go away, all right? And it's gonna be a longer video because, again, I've been off for a little bit in terms of filming, so I'm just trying to show you guys exactly, you know, what I do and how I do it, why I do it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Increase the weight here, and we're going for 12 reps. That was much tougher. Oh, oh, yeah, boy. All right. Yeah, keep going. Anyway, we're gonna do one more set, and then the next thing you guys gonna see me doing is gonna be another movement to help with attendance, joint stability, coordination, and just also working the hip flexor dynamically, just like with this one, and also in a stretch position as well too. All right, so we gotta, if you want to be able to consistently move heavy weight, you gotta do you gotta do maintenance work. All right, so just because, one of the main things to consider is that, so just let's say you're someone that can squat heavy, deadlift heavy, and bench press heavy, right? Just because you can do that doesn't mean that a lot of things that I'm doing right now for maintenance and stuff like that, and to, you know, to keep my body healthy and make sure everything's like nice and lubricated, make sure everything's moving properly. Sometimes, because you're already in a place where you're lifting heavy, you think that you don't need to do this type of work. But me doing back and being comfortable with resorting to doing this type of work that you won't see most people normally doing is what allows me to consistently lift the way that I do and to stay injury free as well too, you know what I mean? So a lot of this type of different movements that you guys see me doing, different functional movement that you guys see me doing, it's not, I don't just do it for the sake of doing it. There's a reason why I do it, right? Because when it comes to longevity, right, it's tied to doing movements like these, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I do them. All right, so like I said to you guys, my first workout back, so we're not going too crazy with the plyo work here. We're just gonna do our standard heel and toe walks, just to get those ankles and the feet warmed up. And then we're gonna do we're gonna do our single leg pogo series and a double leg pogo series, and then another pogo variation that requires that incorporates some rotational plyo work. Still kind of more so extensive, not so much intensive. And so that's what we're gonna do. Nothing crazy, right? So standard heel and toe walks, straight there. Right. Good. On the way back on the heels, in a dorsal flex position here. And by the way, if you're an athlete and you want to train more like an athlete, or if you want to improve your speed, your overall athleticism, your jumping ability, this type of workout is the type of workout that you need to be doing. Right? It doesn't matter what stage of my life I get into, being able to train functioning like an athlete, or like as if I'm about to compete or be in a competition, will always be the way that I prioritize training. It's the best way to train. You think about, maintaining, healthy body, right? Training like an athlete is the best way to do so because it incorporates all the necessary components they need to enhance your daily life, and just that and not just your daily life, but just anywhere you are, like whether you're trying to be competitive, or someone that have kids, you go outside and play with your friends, this, that, you know what I'm saying? You want to be, you don't want to be one of those people that you sprint for a few seconds and then all of a sudden you're grabbing onto your hamstring because you just had like an ankle injury. You don't want to be that guy. So train that guy or girl or whoever. So train like an athlete is the best way to avoid that. And you guys notice how I mix it up. I train like an athlete on my lower body days because that's the most important. And I train more like a bodybuilder, whatever, on my other days, right? So anyways. All right. Now let's get into a single leg pogos here. All right. We're just gonna do 3 times each leg. It's my first day back, so I'm not thinking about, I'm just trying to get through this, just get that rhythm back, start getting the body used to these movements again, because almost 2 weeks off from doing plyo work is a long time when it comes to plyo work. Right. Exhausting already. So after this one, I'm gonna rest about 2 minutes and then get into a double leg, laterally and straight. All right, double leg, we're just doing twice, there and back, and twice sideways, all right? Few seconds. Whew. Yeah, so if you're an athlete watching this and you're looking to train more like an athlete, the benefit you play on, whether that's the field, court, whatever it may be, right? A big part of what you guys do, the environment that you're in is very unpredictable, and you're always doing a lot of rotational movement, contorting your body. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to stay injury-free, and train the way that's gonna help you prevent injuries in your sport, you have to try and recreate those situations in a controlled setting, like in the weight room. So that's why when it comes to the lateral plyo stuff that I'm about to do, it's key as well too. And also the movement after that is going to be a key one as well too. Especially if you're a hooper, soccer player, lacrosse, any kind of field athlete, court athlete, you know what I'm saying, where your body's always operating in all 3 planes of motions, right? That's the transverse, frontal, and sagittal plane. You also want to train that way, right? So if you want to improve your athleticism, that could be the missing part of it. And I know a lot of you athletes, you guys actually don't train in transverse plane, right? So that could be the missing part of what you need to get your athleticism to the next level. All right, so anyways, so same idea here. Start this. few seconds, and we're going back. Okay. Yeah, so this movement that we're about to do is like a plyo/agility movement. All right, so we're gonna be here. We're gonna be going to the right. We're pushing off. And so the whole time here, the goal here is to make sure that my heel never touches the ground. So I'm pushing off the balls of my feet. I'm trying to jump and land on the balls of my feet as much as I can. Obviously, it's not gonna be perfect, but that's the goal. All right, so basically you're shifting your body weight all the way lowered in that left leg, and you're gonna push off, and as soon as you push off, you're gonna push off, try and get height, boom, explode, and then jump, try and stabilize, and reset. So load, push off, jump, and try and stabilize. Good, that's 2. Try and get some distance. Lean, push. Try and stick the line the best you can. Good. Now we're gonna switch and do the same thing on the other side. All right, let's start on this side. So now we'll push off the right leg. So I'm gonna be here. Boom. Reset. Load. Load. Yeah, the goal is trying to stick the landing without an extra step. So we're trying to focus on body control when we're in the air, because again, if you're an athlete, most athlete-related injuries happen when you guys are airborne. You know what I'm saying? So learn how to control your body and land and absorb those forces upon landing. It's going to help reduce to reduce your injury risks. Goddamn, I can't talk. It's going to help to reduce your injury risk significantly. So, in a nutshell, the less control you have when you land, the more honest, if you look at it, the more injury prone you likely are and will be. So I'm trying one more time here. Boom. All right, we're gonna do one more set on each side, and then, all right. So we got 4 each leg here. And then we're gonna get into some floating heel, Bulgarian split squat variation here. All right. So what I'm doing here on this, I'm shifting my body weight so I can completely load my left leg. One big push, boom. See that extra step? I wanna try and avoid that. So if I want to avoid that, I need to focus on getting more height so I can land underneath my center of mass and limit that horizontal momentum, because that's what's making me take an extra step. So, 2 more. There we go. I got more height but less distance, but that's fine, as long as I'm maintaining control. There we go. I'm gonna say we're doing 2 sets of 12 here, and this next movement is probably one of the most elite movement. It's gonna look very extra, but the benefits are crazy. If you're talking about your deep core stabilizer muscles, your core in general, your transverse abdominis, you know, your internal, external obliques and things like that, postural alignment, all those things, strengthening, improve your knee strength, joint stability at the knee, strengthening your arch, you know, all the small intrinsic stabilizer muscles in around the foot and the ankle complex as well too. The anterior and posterior tibialis. So if you're someone that deals with shin splints, the floating heel variation is great for strengthening your your tibialis muscles. Yeah, so it's gonna look extra, but trust me, again, the benefits are crazy, right? So we basically, and this I like these movements because, as an athlete, the goal is to do movements where your entire body is kind of operating at the same time. Yeah, the upper, lower, on all the limbs, they're on the exact same page, you know what I'm saying? And the more you can do that, the more efficient everything's gonna be. And doing movements like these helps to bridge that pathway, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I like doing movements like these. Anyways, let's go. Definitely say get a spotter for these if you're a beginner. Yeah, I won't lie, this is tough. The first set doesn't even count. I got 5, 4, but I need to get 8 to 10. So I gotta start over. All right, we got our 8. So usually movements like these, it usually takes me 1 set for my body to kind of figure out the movement, and usually by the second time, I'm good to go. So that's 8. And the thing is too, when you train like this, you won't ever got to work your core, because this is probably the best core exercise ever. Because in order, like all movements, it's a no-brainer, obviously, it's common sense, but certain movement like these that challenge your balance, coordination, all those things, they incorporate your core muscles a lot more, you know what I'm saying? So, and in order for you to do this movement effectively, you have to keep and prioritize proper core engagement through the entire movement from start to finish, or else you're gonna lose balance, you're gonna lose stability. All right, so these movements actually helps to set you up so well from when you go to do your regular bilateral movements like squats, deadlifts, bench press, all those other movements. It helps set you up properly, because once you learn proper core engagement, your strength is gonna increase by at least 10 to 20%. All right, let's go. Damn, this might have been my weak side, bro. Ooh. Ooh, we're gonna do another set like that. Okay. So, this is my last set. We're only doing 2 sets. I'm gonna try and get 10 to 12 here. Ooh. Yo. Ooh. So this last one, I want to focus on giving my knee some extra love, right? And really isolate my legs unilaterally, and also this combo as well too with the cable that I'm going to be doing. It's also, again, stability, coordination, that oblique thing, you know what I'm saying? Anti-rotational strength and stability, right? Because of the offset load going on. So there's a lot of core stability going on, a lot of deep core stabilizer muscle working, a lot of intramuscle contraction happening here to be able to do this movement properly. And again, if you're someone that's dealing with like hip issues, groin issues, this is a great combination to kind of, again, get that groin nice and healthy, get all the hip region nice and healthy, you know what I'm saying? So we're just grabbing this right here. If you have like the glute kickback ankle attachment, you can use it. I have it, but I'm too lazy to get it. So what I'm doing here, right here like this, in a goblet squat position, go down to a squat, lift up, and go up. Now reset, down, close, lift, and up. Good. Down, lift, up. 2 more. These are tough. Yo, you guys don't understand how challenging that is. The concentration that it's required, and just this comfort of you having to make sure that those core muscles stay engaged as something that actively trying to pull you off balance. All I could feel is everything around, you know, all the essential muscles that make up your, like that belt, that, you know, like all your core muscles that are responsible for allowing you to have maximum trunk stability, all wrap around and connect together like a belt. That's why belt is so beneficial. Because you get an entire, it helps to mimic the entire wraparound of all the core stabilizing muscles engaging at the same time. As you're doing this, right, you feel all those muscles working. You know what I'm saying? So, whew. We're only doing 2 sets of these though. Whew. And as you guys can tell, this movement is solely focused on, isometric contractions and concentric contractions. Notice that there's no eccentric work to this movement. We're just working concentrically here. Oh my God. Doing something like this, it makes you, it really, it's like running a diagnostic. You get to realize and feel all the different weaknesses that you have when you do movements like these. And imbalances, because this side feels so much tougher. Two more. And you guys don't have to, if you try this movement, you don't have to do it with the cable. You can do it without. It'll be just as beneficial. Bro. Fasting and working out, obviously, again, common sense, is definitely challenging. But what I like though is that right now, normally, I'll be dizzy, I'm not dizzy. I'm just low energy. And that's why I get exhausted so quickly with these. Because normally I can do like 8 to 12 reps of these, no problem. But right now, the fatigue sets in significantly quicker. I'm trying to fight against it though. Last 5 here, and then that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a chest day. Nice and easy chest day as well. All right, let's go. One more. Okay, let's finish this off. Oh, by the way, this is for lunges, it was a 60-pound dumbbell and a 45-pound kettlebell. And then for these, I'm using a 30-pound dumbbell, not 30, what am I saying? 80-pound dumbbell. And then the weight on the cable attachment is 20. But that's, yeah guys, that's it. For the rest of March, all my workouts are gonna be fasted. Like real severely fasted. No food, no water. Like I said, 1 meal a day. And literally, bro, like I said before, I think I said in the beginning of the video, when March started, I was 250. And after a week of fasting, my weight just went down to like 242. But obviously majority of that is water weight, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But either way. And I do feel better, man. So I think even past the end of March, I'm gonna be sticking to it, right? Where at least no carbs, just protein, right? But anyways, guys, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate you guys that have been following me for so long. Share the videos, drop a comment if you like, you know, these videos and stuff like that. And more importantly, with summer coming up, my cut starts in March. So if you guys want to get in on the exact workout I'm gonna be doing, you know, for my cut and stuff like that, let me know. We can talk about getting you guys on a workout program to help you guys get in shape for summer, all right? Deuces.